The pandemic has you wondering which appointments you can put off. Meet 3 women who want you to know that a breast cancer screening is definitely one you need to keep. Take a look.
My name is Jen Gordon. I'm 41 years old. And like probably many of you this year during the pandemic, I was wondering whether I should skip my mammogram. My husband and I were working from home. We have a 3- and 5-year-old. We were trying to keep busy while we did our jobs. Things were really crazy. I ended up keeping my appointment because a really good friend of mine was diagnosed with breast cancer last year, and I had promised her that I would get my mammograms. I got my mammogram, and on August 27th, I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer. I just kept thinking, why me? And what was going to happen next? 3 weeks ago, I had a successful double mastectomy. The morning of my surgery, my son told me to be brave. And I focused on those words all morning and as they rolled me in for surgery. And it's what got me through.
I had my last mammogram in December 2019, and it came back clear. In June of 2020, by accident, I brushed my hand across my breast and found a lump. I was hesitant to go to the doctor due to COVID, but it was important that I determine what was going on. I scheduled the appointment, and on June 19th, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in both breasts. I had to tell my boys. That was the hardest conversation I had. I made the decision to have a bilateral mastectomy. I am now currently on chemotherapy. I decided actually to shave my head in advance. Now I'm embracing the new me until it grows back.
I was due for my annual mammogram at the height of the pandemic. I'm a busy mom, I'm navigating a divorce, so having a mammogram wasn't even on my radar. In April of this year, we received some stunning news. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. The surgeon was insistent that all of us, all of my mom's daughters, needed to get checked for breast cancer immediately. The call came 3 or 4 days later from my OBGYN. And she said, "I'm sorry, Jennifer, there's no easy way to tell you this, but you have breast cancer." 1 week ago today, I had a double mastectomy. My oldest daughter is 18, and she got very emotional over it. And the only advice I could give to her at that time was, you just keep standing up. You take your licks and you just keep standing up.
I just keep thinking I would never in a million years let my kids skip one of their doctor's appointments, and I'm always encouraging my husband to make his doctor's appointments, so why was I so willing to skip mine?
It's extremely important to get your annual mammogram. It's also very important to do self-examinations.
I realized that breast cancer loves the woman who is too busy, too tired, too devoted to others, or too afraid to set and go to her mammogram appointment.
Take action for your health.
All it takes is putting yourself and your health first for 10 minutes every year.
It's more important than ever.
Joining us now with more potentially life-saving information is breast oncologist at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, Dr. Elizabeth Komen. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's such an important message. Getting your yearly mammogram, it can feel scary and overwhelming. And I, like some of those women, I have not been diagnosed with breast cancer, but I never skip mine because of my 2 best friends who were both diagnosed with breast cancer and are survivors. But what's your advice about feeling empowered at your appointment and knowing which questions to ask?
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah, and thank you to these extraordinarily brave women for sharing their stories with us today. You know, I'm not just an oncologist who treats breast cancer. I'm also a busy working mom with 3 children. So we all can identify and relate with the anxiety associated with getting mammograms. And also women, especially today, are being pulled in so many different directions. But it's all the more reason that women need to be empowered to take care of themselves. Sarah, I want to share with you a really staggering statistics, which is that breast cancer diagnoses are down over 50% now. And that's not because cancer is quarantining or sheltering in place. It's because people aren't showing up for their screenings. And what we worry about is how this may redound to deaths in the future, thousands potentially, because people aren't coming in for their screening. We want women to feel empowered to show up for their doctor's appointments, for their mammograms, to know that it's safe. I wear a mask, everybody in the hospital wears a mask. And important questions to ask your doctor are also to discuss your family history. You may need screening earlier than the average woman. And also to ask your doctor if you have dense breasts, because dense breasts might need additional screenings, such as with ultrasounds.
Now, are there things we can do to prevent breast cancer?
Absolutely. So one of the things is we do need to know our family history, and that means knowing your family history of cancer on your mother's side, but also your father's side. But when it comes to modifiable risk factors, things that you can do yourself, there are three really important things to think about right now. One is maintaining a healthy weight and eating healthy. Two is exercising. Three is decreasing your alcohol consumption. Now, I said these three modifiable things in the middle of a pandemic, and we know that everybody's circling the kitchen right now, stressed and anxious. They may not be able to go to the gym. You may be drinking more. So it's really important that as a community, collectively, we encourage each other to eat better. I do Zoom workouts with my girlfriends in the morning. And if you are turning to drinking too much, that you really reach out to a trained mental health professional to help with some of the stress and anxiety that so many people are feeling right now with the upheaval in the world.
Absolutely. A big thank you to the women that shared their personal stories in that touching tape piece. And also thank you, Dr. Elizabeth Komen, for being with us today. Don't skip your mammograms.